We like to build up all the anticipation.
Wait for it.
Let's say hypothetically that I don't know anything about fly fishing.
Yeah, right?
It was like this instant 8-way man crush.
I'm on the fence.
The time we've been doing this podcast, I've never seen Uncle Buck perk up his butt. It's dolphin procreation. Like you just flipped up out of your chair.
Yeah, he just blew out his blowhole.
What are you talking about?
And that's pretty much my dream coming true is to actually meet you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm the humblest guy I know.
Work and do trade shows in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You meet some pretty wild guys.
You blew it! I'm the worst PR person ever. Fire me.
And we are back. We are in the current. You are listening to the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. Oh, I hope you all brought your laughing hats because you're going to need to put them on and put them on right now. Who do I finally have with me tonight? Who's here?
I'm Catfish.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Steve.
What's a laughing hat? I'm Will.
I'm Uncle Buck.
And I'm Ryan. I'll tell you what your laughing hat is. It's the hat you're going to need to be wearing tonight.
What's your laughing hat?
Gonna need a whole whack of them, eh?
A whole, see, there it goes already.
We got a whole gaggle of giggles.
Somebody's speaking Canadian. I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen some of y'all.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Fortnight and a half.
I missed
7 days.
I missed a couple of weeks, which we went over last week, but that happened to be my first week back was the week you guys might have had an adventure.
Shoved off.
We were definitely out of the country.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then some.
And then some.
And then some more.
I don't know. How do you guys want to do this?
It felt like we almost went to Alaska on one day.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. Listen, Will looked at me and said, Cat, at one point, jumping ahead, Will looked at me as we took a walk in the woods the first morning. He said, you have to walk on this stuff.
Oh.
And my mind was somewhere else. And as he was jaunting through the woods, he's like, literally, come over here and walk on this. It feels like a wet mattress. I sink like 10 inches. I was like, I've done it, bud, in Alaska. It's the same thing. No, you're not walking on it. When I had to go over, he made me go over and walk on it. I went, yep, that's what I remember. But it's true. When you step in it, it goes up past your ankles of wet moss.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk on. It's like, just go home tonight, dump a bunch of water on your bed and walk around on it. That's what the ground feels like.
I'll do that.
My wife's going to be so mad. But I'll do it.
Tell her it's an experiment. It'll be good.
It's for the good of the podcast, honey. Probably within a year, like a tree falls over, moss is covering it. From the ground.
Is it wet? Like it's swampy?
Not swampy, not in this area. It was like a carpet.
It's wet underneath. You can't see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But they like sleep on it? Sounds comfortable.
If you would, you'd probably wake up just boned because everything would eat you.
Oh my gosh.
It's so wet up there that the entire aviary of Canada would get you.
Yeah, something will.
Yeah.
But you definitely learned why you can't hear bear
up there. Yes, definitely
silent, right?
Holy cow! Even Buckman sounded silent out in the woods. I mean,
turn around and they're right there behind you. Let's jump back though.
Yeah.
Buckman was actually driving, or maybe Ron was driving on our way out. We didn't even get out of Ohio yet, and what happened with the tractor and trailer?
Oh heck, we weren't even 2 hours down the turnpike, and all of a sudden I heard this big thud up on the RV just above me. I was like, Ron, what the heck was that? He goes, what do you mean? I said, that huge noise.
That big thud.
That big thud. He goes, I didn't hear it. I said, okay. And next thing you know, we start hearing a little bit more and running up against us. And I said, that truck up there started losing its retread.
It blew its retread off. It was hitting the camper.
Hitting the camper, and I mean, it sounded like a hailstorm of rubber.
Wow.
And I mean, locked it up, everything smoke. I'm like, wow.
I may or may not have hinted to Bridget when we got back that the window was broken, just in case nobody was going to tell her. Yeah. I may have said that it wasn't our fault. Ron was driving.
It did crack the window on that camper. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
I have to say this. Like, I'll just get it out.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think if anybody deserves a new nickname, it's Ron.
Yeah.
Really?
He should be R2 Dad.
Yeah.
No kid.
He hooked us up. I mean, he was fussing over us the whole time. I mean, a bunch of 40, plus year olds. And he was just, there fussing around, making sure we had everything. We are doing it all the way it needed to be done. And,
Did you guys put your bug spray on before you go out?
Oh, Bugs fussing over something. God bless his heart. He killed every mosquito that came in the camper. Every time we walked in, so did 600 mosquitoes. So if you opened the door 3 times, do the math. That's 33,000 mosquitoes.
right.
That's good math.
He had a can of 1,000% DEET.
That's the number one ingredient in cancer, I hear.
Remember that.
Mosquitoes don't like it either. So he would just walk around and it was like an air freshener to him. He just killed it all. He's killing. I mean, he was spraying it on the lamps, the mirror, writing his name on the side of the inside of the RV. But they died.
I heard he wrote a letter to the Yankee Candle Company, try to get a DEET scented candle made up. He liked it so much.
He should have. But they were. Yeah. He spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time watching out for our well-being because we didn't really give much thought to a lot of safety. I mean,
I find that hard to believe.
I mean, there was bears in camp, and we saw me and Buck ran into some timber wolf footprints in the mud. Oh yeah, we took pictures and we heard stories of timber wolf and big lynx. But
lynx in the area. Really? And then Will really unnerved me. I didn't realize we were that far north, but we were only 100 miles south of polar bear country.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
That ain't far.
No.
Well, up around the Hudson Bay area.
Jeez.
Yeah. And they've moved that far south in the recent last 10 years. 15 years, they said. But
do they have mountain lions in that area
They
too?
have a lot of mountain lions in that area.
So you guys had quite a plethora of critters
with only DEET to protect you.
With only DEET.
Plenty of DEET.
And a fishing rod to sway at them. That's about it. But the trip was long.
Yeah.
We made some really cool pit stops on the way at some trading posts, and just the place we got our fishing license was super cool.
It took us longer to get up there than it did to come back.
Absolutely.
Because we were window shopping.
Oh yeah.
I bet.
Everybody stops to talk to you. We're buying our fishing license, and some guy, everybody in Canada is like 7 foot tall too. So this guy stops and talks to us, talks to us about fishing, and their accent is so cool. Mm-hmm. I just have to. I wonder if they think that I'm
outbooted.
Something wrong with me because when they talk to me, I got this big stupid smile on my face.
Just friendly.
You talk funny.
Yeah, but it was good. We did some stopping on the way up. We ran into the normal hiccups on vacation for the first time you go somewhere. We had to transfer some money from American to Canadian, which was a little bit of a runaround. And apparently Walmart don't have a sporting goods section, so we couldn't buy our fishing license there.
They don't?
Nope.
Really?
They don't sell fishing license.
They have it, but they have the typical sporting goods, but you can't get licensed.
Right. So we had to go to that, which was good because we ended up at that transfer junction trading post.
Yeah.
And they had some nice tackle there.
Yeah.
I mean, to shop around with.
And things were in Canadian, so it felt like you're buying it cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to exchange your money more than once?
No. But when we hit Mac machines, it came out in Canadian.
So you didn't have to deal with the fluctuations of the currency?
No, we did not have to deal with any fluctuations.
Just checking.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Been sitting on that one for a while.
Yes, sir.
Some things some things I found was like some things are really cheap. Like there's a stand where it had like some hides, different animal hides,
right?
And like it was like a half the price of what we would pay here.
Absolutely.
No kidding.
And then some things were really expensive, like driftwood art.
Yeah, it was pricey.
Like it's just driftwood.
Well,
but
you're
then
a ways away from driftwood, in the middle of.
No, you get
next to
driftwood everywhere.
Lake
It's like
Superior.
Okay.
It's a great lake.
I was thinking more along the lines of like big ocean driftwood.
Oh, not like big lake.
False advertising.
No,
that's not driftwood.
The lake driftwood's actually more expensive because of the the lack of salt content. I was going to try to come up with something clever, and I lost it.
No.
Dang it!
There was driftwood on
Lost
the bank.
that one in the lights.
Yep.
There was driftwood on the bank up at Lake Nipigon everywhere. You
So
could
why is it so
stop.
expensive? We don't need to spend much
Well, this
time
was
on
carved.
Supply and demand.
They
art.
carved it
I'm
as driftwood art. They carved it up, and I think it was such
sorry
a
I brought it up.
it's such a novelty. I think that you can't get it really anywhere, so they're going to run the price up. I mean,
I hate when they do that.
I don't know. That's my take on it. I'm spitballing.
Canadian girls like American girls. Every girl we saw either gave me, like I gave her some American money of bucks and wills to change over to Canadian. She gave me way too much money back. And then I realized there was the exchange rate.
Yeah.
So I just thought that she was being nice. And then we went up to that.
She must like me.
We were up.
Look at all this change I got.
Look at all this
some other
Monopoly money.
Trading post thing where they had this driftwood and some little cute Canadian girl comes running down and she was holding a puppy. Oh, you want to pet
Yeah,
my puppy?
pet
I'm
my
like,
puppy.
back home, guys use puppies to attract chicks, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So, and then we stopped at some diner place with some girl with giant 50s glasses on, and she's like, "Oh, look, it's Blake." Like, apparently, I don't know, some guy is super famous in Canada, and they thought it was me, so I took my picture with her.
Did you tell?
I tried to get her fired.
Blake?
He tried
She
to get
does.
her fired.
Oh yeah, the manager come over. I wasn't hungry, so I wasn't eating. I was just having a beer, and the manager come over and he was like, "Sir, are you waiting for a meal?" And I never even gave it a second. I'm like, "Yes, I am. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Go fire someone." And man, he went right over to that waitress, started giving her hell. She looked over, had a big stupid grin on my face.
He said, "Don't you know who I am? I'm the famous Blake."
Others call me
I'm Blake,
Balake.
Canadian Blake.
Balake. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Others call me
I'm
Balake.
I love it.
So we get there. Long drive. We get there.
How long was the drive?
2,300
A whole day.
hours.
Holy bucket!
Yeah.
We left
did,
on Friday?
Yeah.
We got there like
Friday
Monday
night.
afternoon.
We did something that I didn't anticipate, and I thought we would just drive Friday night until we got tired, and then wake up in the morning and go on. But these goofs just couldn't stop driving; like they just wanted to go.
Nope. I jumped behind the wheel in Cleveland, Ohio, and I looked at Ron. I was like, "Hey, you want to take us across the border? Because we're here." So,
Yeah.
Michigan's a long state.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I promised Catfish. I said I'll hang with you till daylight. No, I'm losing it in about an hour and close to about 4:00, 4:30. I'm like, Catfish, I'm starting to lose it.
I don't know. I went in robot mode.
Yeah,
I
you
drove
did.
through 2 helpers. I was gone.
Yeah.
I even stopped twice at rest stops and was like, "Somebody take, never mind, just let me back in there.
I
Let's
kept
go."
going, do you need me to drive? No.
Well, Buck
no.
told me to leave one of the gas stations in Michigan. He's like, "Just go out that way, Catfish, and make a left." All right. Well, there's this huge concrete down ramp and makes a left, and it's like a 30-some foot RV.
Uh-huh.
You don't take
The
real
wheel-
steep
wheel
ramps.
base.
Oh, no.
So we're going down. Ron just went to bed not long ago. We're going down, and the front wheels were still on the blacktop, and the black wheels were on the blacktop, but not by much because the middle of the frame was laying on that turn. You could hear it, and it come to a dead stop. I had 2 choices: rip the gas tank off by going forward, or back up and make that noise again. We backed up, and Ron went, "What was that?" From the bed down in the back of the camper. I went, "Nothing wrong. We're good. We hit a speed bump." But I don't know. It was maybe half an hour later. We were actually doing a little podcast. It was like 2 a.m. or something, wasn't it?
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning. And as we're doing it, I couldn't keep my attention. I'm watching the gas gauge. Now we were just a gas station from full. And within 10 miles, it went down to 3/4. And I'm watching it and I'm going, in my mind going, dude, I just punctured a hole in the gas tank.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But here, like when you fill that RV up, if you don't fill it up all the way, like the fumes or whatever, it goes to full and comes back real quick. And the gas pump shut off at $75 up there, no matter if you're full or not. So we had to learn that.
Oh, yeah. It was like a limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just messed with us. Yeah.
Well, it's the tank's probably real long
It
on
is.
that. So your float that goes to your gauge, I guess, could be in different spots depending upon how level the.
It's hard to know.
We
But-
stopped the podcast production, jumped out, climbed under it in the rain, and
So that's what that was.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what the pause was. Me climbing under the RV looking for a hole in the gas tank.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
See, now we're giving everybody a little behind the scenes
Oh yeah.
information.
yeah.
I like it. Putting all the puzzle pieces together.
The drive wasn't horrible. That Mackinac Island Bridge was cool.
Yeah.
We got into
The Sioux.
the Sioux. Once we got into the Sioux, we went to that trading post. And then we're headed north. We're all excited to go to Nipigon. And then Buck, like 20 miles outside of town, goes, "Oh, guys. Uh-oh." What's uh-oh mean, Buck? He said, "We forgot to pick the boat up in the Sioux back there 20 miles back that we were supposed to pick up."
So we turn around.
Did you get the boat?
Well, we got close to the boat. We touched the boat.
We touched the boat.
Sweet.
Oh, well,
It
good.
was a great boat.
What was it?
Oh, it'd have been fun. Been right up our alley.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a butt coming.
It's like a 20-foot Lund with a 115 Merc on it.
No kidding.
And it like a 40 kicker or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
big.
But Uncle Tim's girlfriend and
Who's
part
Uncle Tim?
Tyler's
Oh,
Tyler
gotcha.
Dunn's uncle to Tim.
I thought I had an Uncle Tim.
It was his boat,
His house.
and his girlfriend had parked her car in the middle of the
Oh, I
driveway,
hate when that happens.
Right where we had to get the boat out.
and there was no way we were going to finagle a
You couldn't drag it out with the RV.
25-foot RV.
We
and-
couldn't get the RV past the car. No.
He meant drag the car out with the RV.
So you didn't get the boat.
We
No.
didn't. We even went to the neighbor, and like he had a nice Tacoma, and I'm like, "That's a nice truck you got there, boss." So we're here to pick a boat up next door, and I could use your Tacoma and pull it out around that car because there was a small, little, tiny squeezing spot that
Yeah.
would have been tough even with a Tacoma. But
Yeah.
he was a nice guy. Like he walked.
Yeah, he was going to play ball with us, but
Yeah.
it wasn't right. We just,
yeah.
He walked,
we had to get rolling.
but we headed north after that.
Back
it
on
was,
the road.
It was a side track. That's why it took so long to get there. Really, the fun part is once you get up to you drive for hours and hours on end past Lake Superior, and once you get past all that and head north, you leave this little town of
Nipigon.
Nipigon, and after that, it's dirt roads. Like it's literally dirt roads for the next 50 plus whatever miles. It's way up there.
Dirt road.
Pothole
hardest-
dirt roads.
It was
Yeah.
called a highway, though.
Yeah, the hardest part of all that is passing all the lakes,
Millions of places to go fishing off the side of the road. Millions.
and we're passing them all to go fishing. You know what I mean? That was really hard.
You didn't
Pres-
like stop at all. Like, we'll just stop here for 20
No,
minutes.
we talked about Yukon.
It
One more
killed you,
cast.
Stevie.
We would still not be there. You'd still be stopping. That's how many places there were to fish.
Like even like you didn't just one place. We're
I'm
gonna
not
stop
talking-
here.
I'm not
one
talking about-
place, half an hour.
oh, I thought about it.
You can't wrap your head around it, can you?
You mean to tell me you didn't stop at least one lake?
Like I gotta go stop and use the bathroom here, guys. That's
No, I'm not. I'm not
Stevie had
even.
to pee every 10 minutes on
It
that.
wasn't. It wasn't even like state park boat ramps. It was just pristine
Really?
mountain lakes.
Mountain lakes.
in the middle of nowhere, like moose walking across the road.
oh goodness.
We're driving along, and Buck's like, "Moose." How about it?
Yeah. Oh, I got so excited.
Is
Moose-
that why you kept sending us those pictures of the moose crossing sign?
Well, we were in moose country, and I'm
Yeah.
like, guys, I got to see a moose. I want to see a moose.
Sounds like you did.
Moose. And
Okay.
It was a big one.
But it was in the middle of the heavier part of the rain that we were getting that day. It was literally on the white line of the,
Yeah.
how about a catfish?
I don't know how I ended up driving again, but I smashed the brakes pretty hard in a 30-foot RV. I was pretty sure Ron was coming the whole way to the front,
Yeah.
and we still couldn't stop in time.
To, like take pictures of it or anything.
Well, the minimal speed up there is 70, like or something stupid. I don't know, but they want you to go fast.
Oh, it was like kilometers.
Kilometers, 90
It's easier to
kilometers.
navigate those potholes from some of the footage I saw, maybe on
Oh, Lord.
that dirt road. I couldn't get over though the pictures and the videos that I've seen of some of the driving. That part of I was going to say country, that part of the world is beautiful.
Oh,
I mean,
it's crazy. And pictures don't do it any justice. That's 10 hours of that.
Yeah.
You can go blind. Just at one point, I looked at Buck, and every time I drove by something, I went, "That's the prettiest thing I've ever seen." Go around a corner.
Yeah.
It's another Norman Rockwell painting. Like every mile, something more
There's
amazing.
no population up there. There's
very
For 4
little.
hours, you won't see nothing.
Yeah, it's a poke between towns.
And once you get to Nipigon and you take that turn north, there's not.
Like 80% of the Canadian population lives within 15 or 20 miles of the U.S. border.
No, I
like
believe
all the
that.
big cities are right along the border.
Is that a fact?
You get above
No
that,
kidding.
Once we drove 20,
You're out
30
there.
miles north of the Sioux, it got like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
Wow. So take us to Nipigon.
Well, we need to talk about the road off the highway that goes another 44
Take us
kilometers.
to the road off the highway.
The 50 miles that Buck drove the RV on.
That Will was
I'm sensitive.
right on
You
the
picture
current.
Gut Road?
When Will said a part of me
Just
is still
3
in that
times as
RV,
wide.
he's absolutely right.
this was Bucky's road to perdition.
I don't know. I made some penance for a few sins on that trip.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I woke up. I finally went to sleep. I didn't even realize we were on this road yet. You know how I woke up? You ever sit on the back of, the school bus? You sit over the axle and hit the bumps. You know where they are on the way home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sleeping and I get thrown straight up, like 3 feet, 4 feet out of the back bed.
It was RV Cirque du Soleil back there.
And I yelled, "What the hell is going on?" And Buck's like, "Oh, I'm driving now."
I'm driving.
I'm driving now.
We were on
Sorry,
Black,
the captain.
we were on Blacktop when I fell asleep. We were way out there when I woke up.
And I was way in over my head driving that thing. I mean, it was wet.
Bucky, you drive like an F650 V14 diesel.
Well, guys that drive trucks like he does up there will drive them at 15 miles an hour. It'll take an hour and a half to get out of there.
Yeah.
Because that place is notorious for blowing tires, ripping axles out. Like I heard all the horror stories. Not Buck, man. 30-foot RV. He's going 45 miles an hour. If you hit the potholes faster and harder, they don't bounce as much.
Yeah.
You're trying to skip across top of them.
I think the quickest I saw me going was about 25, and that was
And that's still through Catfish 3 feet in the air.
yeah.
It was a rough road.
Some of it I was doing 10, some of it 5.
And if you veered one way or the other, it's the kind of old dirt road that you would sink the tire in enough that you could flip an RV. People have done it.
Yeah, you can't go off trying to avoid those potholes.
Well, they
right?
did.
You
They
just gotta-
even had.
You got to eat them.
They even had like tape out saying, "Don't." The road looked fine, but it's soft on that side, so don't drive on it.
They would
But you
tie it to
never
a
know
tree
to see it.
and then the other end to a rock and bring it out into the road, so you would have to drive around this ribbon, and it was the clue to not get caught in this soft, junky stuff.
Yeah. The I don't know what he called it, permafrost, whatever, just sunk the road there. And you couldn't see
That's
it.
the stuff Will wanted you to walk through.
Yes.
And Bucky's trying not to drive through it. I get it.
But we get there, and it's 10 o'clock at night by the time we
It's starting to get dark.
yeah.
Starting to get
A whole day early. A whole day.
Wow.
They were excited, bud.
I guess.
We got there and looking for where do we park this thing? Where's our campsite? And Tyler had said site 8, but
There's
know,
no signs for
No big
signs.
8 plaque.
no. Rutten River, welcome. Here you go.
There's no like welcoming place to go check in type of anybody around.
No men on your pillow.
And
So
it's-
that we
and
did.
it's-
We parked.
Right.
We parked, but unfortunately, I walked over and talked to a couple guys that had a fire going at a different. They were tent camping.
Yeah.
A couple of Canadians, and they parked and they started putting the slide outs out and all. And I learned the fact that where they were parked was actually the road to the boat ramp. So we parked the boat ramp in.
Oh, jeez.
And so we had to move it. And Ron did good. He drove it with the slide outs out to
Oh, yeah.
another spot. Yeah. We still didn't know where. We just put it somewhere else.
And at that point, we were just glad to be able to kind of stretch our legs and start relaxing a little bit. And
Did you find site 8?
not until the next morning,
Really?
but it was about 20 foot away.
Okay.
Yeah. We hung out till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning with the neighbors there that were camping. Got the Buck likes to use these things, the 411 or whatever it's called. Got the lowdown on the camp and the camp owner and where the ramp is.
You got the 5x5.
That's it.
What time of day was it that you guys actually pulled in then to the camp?
About 10 p.m.
Okay, so it was dark.
No,
Not dark.
No. The thing about you need to understand up there is even though it says sunset is 10 o'clock or 9:50, the sun does not go down completely. You still have daylight until about midnight, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and it's truly only dark for 4 hours, and then the sun starts popping back up like it's dawn.
Yeah.
But it's not sunrise yet. And it's so, like, you have an 18-hour, 20-hour day.
Yeah.
You have trouble sleeping then?
No.
No, Buck has no trouble sleeping. I can verify for that.
But then that would be why in the wintertime, there's only 4 hours of sunlight.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, I couldn't take that.
Yeah, you could walk around at midnight without a flashlight and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. But Stevie, you would like it because it's 20 hours of daylight in which you can fish.
No, the daylight part I could take. The winter where it's 4 hours of daylight.
Not many people can take that. Alaska, Canada, whatever. It's not a fun thing to do.
I would like that.
Would you?
I'd sleep most of it.
Get your vampire.
You're like
going.
You're like a big teddy bear.
We did run into Tyler that night. He showed up late.
Okay.
And then he stopped over to the fire pit, and we hung out with those guys. We talked fishing. We're all excited.
Yeah.
And we got up the next morning. Me and Will actually went fishing. The next morning, we took that long hike down through the woods to where they said there's a pool where you catch walleyes. Mm-hmm. It wasn't exactly a pool. You couldn't really cast. It was quite the hike. That's when we learned just how bad the mosquitoes truly were. They were following us, like making plans on how to, like, just put us down.
It's no joke, Brian.
They were figuring out how to quarter you guys and carry you out of there.
Yeah. I think they tried.
You guys.
Using a game pack.
Will got on the board first. There was a waterfall. It was, besides the bugs, though, this mountain walk down to the river. I mean, I can't do it justice unless you'd seen it, but it was surreal setting. There was a really raging waterfall into a pool where the trees didn't give you exactly the right access to cast properly. But we did have rubber boots on, and Will got into a little pocket where he could cast bottom of the waterfall. And was it a pike you got on the board first, or a walleye?
I got a pike right away. Second cast.
Yeah.
Second cast.
Nice.
Which really put us in high alert that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gorgeous walk. Not so fun walking back uphill. It was hot, humid. But we learned real quick that you need to protect yourself from the bugs for the rest of the week.
Did you take Thermacell?
They eat that. They don't.
They do.
Yeah, they don't. Thermacell just
Doesn't help.
No, it just makes them mad. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Thermacell doesn't do much.
It's got the slightest little humming sound, which attracts them.
I'm not. Well, here's
like
the
a
thing.
war drum.
I'm not saying nothing about Thermacell. I'm sure it worked. There were so many of them
Just
that it didn't
too
work.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's overload. You're not going to.
Those things too, like they're on the attack constantly. And as I joked, I told the dude down in the Sioux, I'm like, your mosquitoes are wusses.
Yeah, when we were at the river there, he's like, "Man, the mosquitoes are out."
It's cute. I swatted at one and it ran away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not what I came from here.
These ones are more like if you have 5 or 6 of them on your face biting you at once, and you crush your face and you smash them. By the time it takes you to smack your face, there's 10 of them biting the back of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're that bad.
How about the night I went up to your back and I literally took my arm down Catfish's back to literally rake 100.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see them, but
back.
I could feel them. It felt like a pin cushion getting me.
We almost got to the point where I thought we were going to have to start like transfusing blood.
If you ever seen like a hedgehog like going 100 miles an hour and just jump and do a backflip into your back, that's what it felt like.
Wow. I've seen that twice.
How does Tyler deal with that? Like
well, here's the crazy thing. Canadians are used to it. When you talk to the camp owner, Robert, he'll sit there and have 2 or 3 of them biting him in his face and he won't even swat them. Like they don't know. They just don't know anymore. Wow. I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, you want to take care of some of that around your eye? Like they're biting your eyeball. And he doesn't care. He just, they're all over his neck. They're like biting insect necklace. Beard. Yeah.
And then there's the black flies.
Well, that's it. I mean, the mosquitoes were one thing, but the black flies were...
They're like the psychopaths.
They look like a horror movie, like a plague.
So if you covered
Swarm.
yourself, were you okay? Or
If you wore a head net and you
Yeah.
kept your cuffs, you had gloves on and,
A
rubber
hoodie.
boots, they still got underneath and ate your legs. They got in somehow.
wow.
But you could protect yourself if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
You're not making me feel like I want to be there.
No, so let's move on. I mean, the bugs, we could talk about the bugs every day. The bugs were bad. Out on the water, they were not.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
we rented a boat since we couldn't get the boat out of that driveway. He rented us a boat. He threw a 15 on it, Yamaha, and it was a nice big open Lund boat. Mm-hmm. He put it in the water for us. We got to dock it all week at the dock. So we walked down
nice.
there, and the walk to the boat was tedious the first day, but it grew on us.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, one of the bigger takeaways for me is I can't believe how convenient our life is. Like here in
Yeah.
Take it for granted.
reality, back in the real world.
First world problems.
Yeah, like it's so convenient. And the up there, we're 100% off grid. The power that you make from generators or the windmills or the solar panels is the only electricity that you have, and it barely runs a bathroom pump or whatever. And so basically, like I had my phone, and I would like look at it, and every once in a while, or pretend like it worked. Maybe pretend.
You'd answer it randomly.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes? Okay. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.
I'm busy now. Yeah. Or I would, flip through my pictures and, I don't need that picture. That's old, whatever. But pretend like I was, I'm afflicted. Like I need my phone. That's so bad.
You used your photo library as your own personal
it's my
Instagram.
entertainment. Yeah.
It's good.
I didn't. I loved it. I threw mine up in the cupboard and left it there. I didn't even take a picture with it all week.
I used mine for pictures, vids, and I did look at the compass a couple of times, like when we were out in the middle of the lake, just so I could get my bearings where the heck I was.
Yeah.
But like I started to say was that walk.
Yeah.
At first, there's a couple steep hills and this and that. Like that walk I dreaded, but then, to the end of the week,
You acclimated quickly.
I got stronger. I felt stronger. I felt like,
Well, tell them how you could breathe better up there.
Oh yeah. I don't know the allergies or what, but I had dreams. Like when I slept, I could dream. It was really,
There was no allergies there.
Yeah.
It was all the mosquito blood in you.
maybe
The
it's
mosquito venom.
bloodletting maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my allergy, my nose kind of opened up, and it just, I was able to. I slept a bunch. I'm not gonna lie,
And it was good
I think I was
sleeping.
healing
That's good.
or something, but I'm back now, back to normal.
And the sleeping was good. I mean, you got cool and chilly where you weren't hot.
I wouldn't know. I had one guy snoring 3 inches from my left ear and another one snoring 5 feet to my right. And Ron had this nice big queen bed to himself in the back. He didn't hear nothing because he shut a door.
That's what you mean by R2 dad. Nice.
There it is.
Go to bed, kids.
Big bed, all to himself in the back. Leave you guys to fend for yourselves. I get it.
He threatened to, have us rotate, and
Split the group up.
I waved him off. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
So let me paint you into Norman Rockwell painting. So when you walk down to this boat ramp, you can't see the boat ramp, the docks. There's a little fish house with a stainless steel table with a hole in it and a bucket where you cut your fish up to keep kind of like the bears away and raccoons if they had them, I don't know. But so standing on the dock, you're looking at this really amazing river that's maybe 60 yards wide. Let's say 50, 60 yards wide. If you would get in the boat, you can only go 100 yards north to an immaculate waterfall. You can't get any further than that. But you could fish right at the base of the waterfall. We caught some pike there.
yeah.
So you could take this short 100-yard trip and start fishing at the base of this loud waterfall. Just absolutely stunning, beautiful. And it was away from the boat ramp enough that you felt out in the woods in the wilderness, but you could literally turn around and drift back here in a few seconds. Or where we went, you could turn around and go the other way through a twisty, turny river for 5 miles out to the mouth of Lake Nipigon. It's a 5-mile run to the lake, 5.2, I think they said it was. And we saw moose and stuff on the way out.
This is one of 5 or 6 access points, of which 2 or 3 are public, and this happens to be one of the public ones. And also important, just to help Catfish set the picture, this lake is protected. Nobody builds on this lake.
No.
In fact, if it blows down and lays down in the lake, it stays down in the lake.
Yes.
There's no moving that. It's all protected. You can only use worms. There's no other live bait that is allowed there.
No kid, just worms.
Just worms.
Wow.
And somebody has it right. They recognized what a gift this is, and they're preserving it as best as they possibly can.
This lake is so big that it must have, and I exaggerate sometimes, but it has hundreds, if not 1,000 islands of all shapes and sizes. And some of them have caribou on them. We're that far north.
Wow.
Herds of caribou with...
They go out there and baby.
Yeah, they go out there and they birth their babies on the islands to protect them from the wolves.
Yeah.
They swim out there to have their calves or whatnot.
Wow.
But if you leave the mouth of this river and you hit Lake Nipigon, we fish primarily to this bay to the left. However, if fog would roll in and you went past the first island, I don't care how good you think you are, because I feel really confident that I can go out, be dropped off, and know the truck's that way. It's close to it, because I have pretty good sense of that. There was multiple times where I had to look at Tyler and go, which way is camp? Because if the fog would roll in, you would be lost in a second. Everything looked the same. And once you left the mouth of the river and got a couple hundred yards away, you couldn't see the mouth of the river anymore. It was tough. You constantly looked back as the boat was spinning to know where you had to go back. I mean, you couldn't pick a tree out or any structure to go, that's the way back. It all looked the same. You could get turned around quick up there and get yourself in trouble. Now, Tyler did have a satellite GPS with him, which helped a lot. Right off the satellite, which told us how to get back. And, he's been up there quite a few times. But we fished a few times to the bay to the left,
which they called the pig pen.
The pig pen. And, we caught some pike and walleye in there. I'm going to leave this part of the podcast up to Phil, because Phil and Ron had quite an amazing trip one day in the pig pen. So tell us about that day, Phil.
What was that? That was Tuesday, I believe. Tuesday Ron and I got up in the morning. We had learned some things the previous few days, and we learned that we could troll worm harnesses and we could catch walleye.
Yeah. Like you do back home here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, boys, we caught walleye. Let me correct this. Ron caught walleyes.
Yeah.
I know who was the net man up in Soda's Point?
Bay?
Yeah.
That was me.
That was you. Well, that was my job.
Oh, yeah?
I was the first mate. I baited Ron's hook. I was his net man.
Nice.
Ron was even so nice as to say, just use my rod for a while. Just troll it. And mind you, we're trolling. And it's not like we're retrieving and casting anywhere. We're trolling through the same spots back and forth. He said, why don't you just take mine? I'm feeling bad. I was like, no, Ron, go ahead. This is fine. I'm having a great day. You don't know me. Like, I'm having a blast out here watching this happen. I already watched him
catching memories.
He caught a 32-inch walleye already.
Walleye 32.
32-inch walleye already.
Good
size walleye.
Yes. And so he says, well, use my rod. As soon as we switch rods, what does he do? Catches 2 fish off of my rod.
No kidding.
2 of them. And that's when he's like, I'm like, don't feel bad. I said, you sat here while I was catching pike.
Oh, I'd be gloating the whole time.
Oh, well, I know you would.
Yeah.
Steve would be like, you want to switch back? Watch what happens.
Yeah. Right on. But, I did catch a couple of small yellow perch while we were doing this.
Trolling worm harnesses.
Wow. But they would just little nip. And little
I got that a lot.
Yeah.
Getting excited because they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Ron, and he was grinning like a Cheshire cat by the end of this day. That's the picture where he's holding the stringer, and I'm doing the Mike D victory, and it just that was my best day of not catching a fish. I mean, I had the stringer full of memories. Ron had a stringer full of fish.
He had true joy on his face when we pulled up.
Yes. Yes, and he couldn't wait for you guys to get back to tell the story. And I by this time I'm like, heck, Ron, you might want to sit back and rest. You've done all the work. I had a great time.
The trip was worth the while for him for that day.
Yes.
Did you guys eat these?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Then moving on.
We did keep some fish.
We ate that night. We ate Tuesday night. We ate some fish.
Yeah, we had a fish fry and mac and cheese.
Nice.
Which is like the first meal I missed. Because that was the first night I literally crashed and slept through the making of dinner.
Right. I thought maybe you were at the waterfall throwing whopper ploppers.
No.
He would do that in the morning.
4 hours later.
Gotcha.
But that day was incredible just to watch. But paying my dues that day made up for the last day we fished up there.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to let Catfish talk about this because it happened to happen on a pretty special day.
It did, absolutely.
Is this the morning where you woke up and chased off your birthday bear?
It is. At 4 in the morning. Yep. Actually, Will got me up super early. It was breaking daylight. Yeah. He woke me up. He's like, Catfish. There's a bear standing looking at me in the window. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, look. So I walked over to the window, and he's trying to get into my new coolers. Now, granted, the night before, this is the same bear that stole my little cooler.
Yeah.
And stole my Moses family jerky and my honey buns. And
and DK's pliers.
Well, that's it. I had to send the guys out on a scouting mission, and the mosquitoes are 10 times worse in the woods. Once you enter the woods, there's no safe zone.
You're in their house now.
Yeah.
It was like something from Harry Potter.
You need windshield wipers on your eyeballs to get through.
Or Harry and the Hendersons.
We go out and we split up and we're looking for my cooler because I knew nobody stole it. That's a wild thing up there. You left boats, tackle. You can leave your wallet lay in the boat overnight with 10 other boats around.
Truth.
They will not touch it. You could leave $100 bill lay on your boat. They will not touch it. Like our rods, I constantly ask Tyler, like, dude, is our rods cool? He's like, yeah, man, yeah, hey, leave everything in the boat, hey, it's fine. And I'm like, all right, cool. You sure? Oh, yeah. There's guys running generators on the dock, have their boats plugged in all night. They're $1,000 generators, $10,000 worth of equipment in their boats. So anyhow, so I knew nobody took my cooler. That was the point. Except for Wheezy or whatever his name was that showed up every day.
Wheezy.
Yeah. Well, earlier this day, he destroyed
Douche Bear.
He absolutely destroyed the neighbor's camp. That's how we found out about him that day. Was they had a big yellow tent. They had just moved in. They were excited to go fishing. They had all their food out, and he decided to come into the neighbor's camp and just sit down and eat all their Twinkies, all their food. He tore their tent down. There was no safe spot in that camp. We literally walked up and just watched the show.
Well,
you stand 40 feet from them and watch them eat all their food.
He was watching us watch him.
Yeah.
But he didn't care.
There was even one moment I walked to go take the shower that day, and he was back.
That was the greatest night.
And
you run him off, he just comes right back.
And he was there, and I was like, guys, bear.
Oh yeah,
Bear.
we're 60 yards away.
Guys.
That's what we hear. Guys, bear. Yeah, we know Phil. He's been up there. No, but really, Bear. He's looking at me.
Guys,
remember Slimer on Ghostbusters?
And he starts to escalate in his Phil fashion, and if you don't respond to him, he's only going to get louder,
which will draw in more bears.
I'm like, I yelled, Phil, shut up! Stop talking, Bear.
Well, we went after him with a GoPro once, and there was at least two of them that were nuisance because we got two of them on GoPro at the same time.
Yeah.
But he hung out by the generator that you had to pull the string to start the generator that's like 100 yards away from the shower house. It pumps water out of the ground to fill cisterns that runs the hot water tank that runs the little shower for the whole camp. And we won't get much into that, but Phil's really good at starting generators.
Really good
at pulling strings,
and pulling the knot out of the string.
Let me tell you how you ever pull a lawnmower and the string just pulls out of it.
Yeah.
Well, Phil just happened to pull the string the time that happens, and we got to go tell the owner Phil broke his generator that runs the water for the entire camp.
Oh no!
It wasn't a good moment.
Everything I touched went to junk.
No.
Yeah.
We had fish and mac and cheese that night. And speaking of the mac and cheese, I have to give a big shout out to
Amen.
Lacey for cooking for 2 days, because not only did we eat good, but I gave. We heated stuff up and gave it to Tyler and his uncle. Tyler's uncle was up there all week. Tough boys, sleep in their truck all week. I have to give them credit for that. Like, they'll go fishing all day. I mean all day. They don't get up real early, but like 9 till 10 at night. Mm-hmm. And then come in, and we took them over some food every night. We had lasagna and casseroles and
Those funeral potatoes.
I was with you, Stevie. I thought they were feeding Wheezy.
Well, Wheezy that morning that Will woke me up on my birthday, which is what it was a special day.
Yeah.
Will woke me up. Wheezy was trying to get into the funeral potatoes that were in the new coolers that I bought that have a sticker on them that says bear rated. They're not, because he figured out how to open 3 of the 4 latches. He was close.
Wheezy thinks they're rated A+.
Yeah.
Bring more of those.
So after he stole my cooler, destroyed it, Will found it. We split up. We're going back. Will's like, I'm on a game trail. That's the last thing I heard. And Will's like, I got it. It's back here. I found the pliers. Deke's pliers. We got the cooler back. It's in like 10 pieces. He don't even know how to use a zipper, Wheezy. He just rips it open.
I don't know how he gets it. I don't know what he does, but he does his bear thing.
He does his bear thing.
It looked like Will says, it looks like a crime scene back here.
Yeah, it did.
It looked like CIS in the woods. Plus, there was a roll of toilet paper in a Ziploc bag, so he'd had fun shredding that all over. So it's white against a green background.
Yeah.
Did
There's
you
nothing
double
white.
back, or I don't know? Because you were walking beside me, and then I know it's thick. It's kind of, I don't know how
I
to
saw
describe it.
something blue.
It's thick and it's open at the same time.
Yeah, I saw something blue, so I veered off.
Dark.
But this bear had all kinds of weird things in the woods from previous campers.
And I'm like, catfish.
Ron even found a Tonka truck that he kept that he had stuck in a tree. He stole some kid's like big Tonka car, and he hung it in a tree.
That's what he plays with.
That's Wheezy's now.
I keep it.
Pod dads now.
Well, I get up and I look over, and Will's videotaping, and this bear's literally standing on the side of our camper looking in the window with 2 paws on the camper right at the coolers. And so, no, it wasn't happening. He wasn't getting our funeral potatoes. I chased him off, and Will videotaped that.
Catfish versus Wheezy.
He's not. See, they're not
Go
used
on,
to. They're not used to white boys chasing them off with no clothes on. You want to get out of here?
I was going to say, I noticed that the video footage was only from about chest up.
I had time to put my hat on.
Okay.
I knew he was filming. I knew my hat had bedhead.
He turned around. Birthday bear.
Yeah, birthday bear.
I like it.
Unfortunately, that morning, though, it was raining. The rain had brought more bugs out. That was the worst bugs there was, period. It was bad. But I went down, I got the rental boat, took my rain gear. I went out in front of the dock and anchored up. And there was no bugs on the river. That was the night I couldn't sleep at all.
Right.
I don't know if I had stress of turning 35 or 40 or however old I am.
Yeah.
But I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep one bit all night. And I tried to lay on the floor, everything. I went down and I literally put all them little throw-out flotation seats they give you. Mm-hmm. I spread them all out across the bench, put two rods out with baits on the bottom, right out in front of the dock, sitting in the rain, covered everything up. I fell asleep for like an hour. So like from 5:30 to 6:30 on my birthday, I fished out the river. And Will comes down. He's like, hey. He called me on the walkie-talkie, which threw me off. I'm like, yeah, buddy, what's going on? I have my back to the dock. Yeah, buddy, what's going on? How you doing? I'm like, good, I ain't catching anything. I didn't know he caught me sleeping down there. But he yells out, you coming in? Tyler's going fishing. Tyler actually takes Phil and I 2.5 hour drive north.
Back in the car.
Well, here's the thing. There was a bit of a smelt die-off when we were there. It's like the locusts. It happens every, 5-10 years or some weirdness. Yeah. These little fish die off and all the walleyes ate them. So even though we had decent fishing, it wasn't killer the way it normally is.
Okay.
So we got away from the smelt die-off, and somebody drew a picture in the dirt, and then we transferred it to a piece of paper and like drive 48 miles north, make a left at a piece of concrete, get down this other dirt road. These are all dirt roads, by the way.
Yeah.
Get down there for about an hour, find an old
lane.
mailbox in the weeds that somebody hides like
It's got the next
their
part of the
extra
map.
food in.
That road had a beaver pond. The beavers dammed up across the road, so the road was part of their pond then.
100 yards of the road was gone.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, when Tyler drove across it, we had no back straps on the boat, like the straps that you strap the boat down on.
Yeah.
They're not like us. Canadians just put the front winch on and that's it. Let's go. They don't put them back straps on. As we're going across, like the boat was trying to lift off the trailer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was a 2.5 hour drive, rough road, trying to figure it out.
Yep, and the road looked like an interstate compared to the boat ramp once we got there. How about it?
Absolutely.
Dang.
Well, once we got to the boat ramp, I even told Tyler when he was trying to back the truck into this tight spot, straight downhill. This boat ramp wasn't a boat ramp. It was somebody that cut some weeds out 50 years ago and thought they could get a boat in the river. Another river, by the way. And I looked at Tyler 3 times. I'm like, dude, you're going to lose your truck in the river. Stop. Like, I'm serious. We drove 2.5 hours. I don't care how good the fishing is up here, they say, because they call it a mystical place. Just stop. You're going to lose your truck. Oh, no, look, there's another boat there. Somebody got it in.
Oh, it's just sand,
It's just that's a 14-foot boat, Tyler. You're going to lose your boat. Oh, we're good. We did get the boat in the water, but we had to dig rocks out from underneath the trailer. It was so steep, the prop was digging the dirt.
Wow.
And the motor was up. Mm-hmm. The prop was hitting going in. I don't know how we were going to get it back on.
The trailer on the ball was almost at an angle. I thought it was going to just pop off.
I don't know how it didn't. Yeah, the truck and trailer was like this.
Wow.
But anyhow, we got the boat in. We headed out the river. It was maybe 400 or 500 yards to the mouth of the lake, and we did a drift from the mouth. Maybe
where it gets
from
stupid.
the mouth of the lake, maybe 400 yards, and we just kept doing that same drift over and over. It was magical. It was every single cast was a walleye. Literally, we caught hundreds of walleyes in 4 hours. Between the 4 of us, we had multiple 4-person hookups. After a while, Buck didn't even talk anymore. He was just laughing. He couldn't talk.
I broke out. I had nothing else to do. I couldn't do anything. Words couldn't even. I just started laughing.
At one point, he just put his rod down and sat down. He's like, I don't want to catch any more walleyes. I'm done. I can't lift my arms anymore. What am I doing with my hands?
Wow.
My wrist, my shoulder. I mean, how about it, Will? By the time I got back to camp, I was freaking wore out.
My real thumb is calloused.
But the way we were jigging though, and you have your snap jig.
It was a snap jig, yep.
But if
they would hit it on the fall after you snap it up.
Yeah.
They would hit it on the fall, yep.
And you couldn't. Oh God, dang! It was just like, okay, maybe for 3 more fish.
Yeah. Was it the best fishing you've ever seen in your life?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was everything that I was told
So
about
anybody who's
Canada.
been crappie fishing with me on a super hot day on Lake Mead, where it's just dumb and you're like, I don't want to catch any more fish.
Yeah.
It was like that, but with big walleyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was catching, not fishing.
Well, it was post spawn, and at the mouth of this river, there had to have been millions of male walleyes jammed up in the mouth of the river, right where the river came out. And that's what we were getting. I can't imagine how thick they were in there for how many we caught. But they called it a mystical place, and it is that because we were already in the middle of absolutely nowhere, where bears steal your stuff. And then we went 2.5 hours further north into the middle of way nowhere.
And then we got done. Thank goodness, typical catfish after an epic day. Before we started the motor up, just said, Buck, take a good look around, bud.
Stop fishing.
Stop fishing. Take a look around for the next few minutes and just soak this in. And that is my memory of Canada. That 2 minutes that I took that personal panoramic, Phil Buckman only 2D taxidermy. And guys, thank you. This was a trip of a lifetime.
That's epic.
It took us.
I was a little kid the entire time, guys. I turned 47, but I felt like 7.
It took us over an hour to get the boat back on the trailer.
Yeah.
And 2 hours back home. So we got back at like 10, 11 at night. It was a long day, but it was worth the trip.
Mm-hmm.
The bugs on the ramp, the so-called ramp, were worse than anything I've ever seen. I lived in Alaska. It was 10 times worse than that on that day. It was black flies.
Wow.
you couldn't see through. Like you could see through them, but it was bad.
I think what we didn't mention is, did you guys get those micro kind of super small bugs that they actually hurt?
The ones that bury into you.
Yeah.
They bite and they don't come out.
The chiggers.
No, I think they're called no-see-ums.
I don't know, but they bite and they hurt.
Someone, I think Ron said, called them no-see-ums. But
Yeah, it's the same thing essentially as a chigger, but
Is
yeah,
it?
it does the same
it's
thing.
so
Yep.
small whenever you look down and this pain, and there's a super tiny bug. You know, it didn't even. I don't know.
They're
It burns.
Yeah, the pain scale of how big they are versus their bite is ungodly.
Yeah.
You can't imagine the pain that comes out of that little tiny bug.
I'm still itching in spots. It's
Yeah.
been a week.
I tell people that about me. I'm a little shorter in stature, but you watch out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I bite bad.
That's how I am.
Well, these things
Like a no-see-em coming at you.
were
you
meaner
might get-
junkyard
Don't see 'em.
dogs.
You might get a new nickname.
So here's what I'm getting from a lot of these stories that I'm hearing. Just like,
Yeah, wrap it up and sum it up in your
and
Ryan.
well, correct me if I'm wrong,
I
but
will.
much like every other R2 outing that's happened, whether it's a quick little day trip somewhere, wet wading, or an extravagant long weekend, the fishing was the side note on the experience. Like you guys had epic fishing, you caught epic fish, but it was the experience of the outing.
Yeah,
is
man.
what made it.
Sounds
It's
like
very accurate.
Because if you go back through and listen to this podcast again, which I recommend everybody do right now, go back to the beginning, start it over.
It was all the little things.
Yeah.
Even the bugs.
You are in the current. Oh, wait.
We're part of it.
Even the bugs that
Everybody
were
looked
that
at
bad.
their radio
Yeah,
right
you're
then.
gonna screw them.
You know, no, it's good. Even the bugs that were that bad were added to the story, added to the
Yeah.
the whole trip there.
That's what I mean. But if you go back and you listen to you guys tell the story about this epic fishing adventure, the fishing, it was only a small part of it.
It was.
I mean, you guys just had just an epic adventure.
You should have met some of the people there, though.
Yeah.
They're all giving. The two guys we met the first night gave us a whack of worms. Oh, we're leaving the next day. Here's 200 worms, whatever, which is what ultimately caught some of our fish.
You got those.
All the guys just gave to us.
walleye.
Some guy gave me a
Stevie just wants to
70.
know where the bait shop is.
Yeah.
Some guy gave me an $80,000 truck. Here,
To haul wood in.
yeah, I was out cutting firewood. He's like, "You want my chainsaw on my truck?"
This big black diesel comes up, this brand new lifted diesel
Only
comes rolling up to the camp and starts backing in. I'm like, what?
Who's this guy?
Yeah, you have neighbors and they're not friendly, but most people keep to themselves. And this big gigantic black diesel, starts backing in, and I'm only looking at the truck. I don't care who's in it. It's just a beautiful truck. I mean, it's everything that you'd want in a big truck.
And all of a sudden you heard, evening.
The door opens up, catfish jumps out, and I'm like, what?
Did you just steal a truck?
My mind couldn't comprehend what happened. Yeah, honestly, that's the third thought. He stole a truck
In the middle of nowhere. Where do you
get
even
it?
find that?
Yeah, that's
In a truck bed full of wood, which actually helped because it kept some of the bugs away.
Yeah.
When we got a fire going,
Oh, that's awesome.
That was great.
I found a wood pile and somebody's log splitter, and I didn't have to use the axe after all. I just jumped from camp to camp borrowing stuff.
That sounds perfect.
I didn't want to carry all that wood the whole way back to camp, and I was just small talking to this guy. I said, "Hey, boss, what's going on? I'm getting some firewood. I got to carry it back to camp." "That's a pretty truck you got." He's like, "Well, here's keys are in it, man. Don't make me chase you to find it later." I'm like, "Thanks." It wasn't the type of truck you see in Pennsylvania. It was nice.
yeah.
I almost didn't want to give it back. I jumped in. It was leather seats. It was so nice the bugs wouldn't even get in it. I left the windows down. They wouldn't even come in it. Like when you talk to people up there, when I was talking to Tyler, he would crack the window a little bit and talk because of just black flies flying in.
Yeah.
But
Not in that truck.
yeah, we're getting run. I mean, we could talk all day about this trip. I have to say thanks to Tyler Dunn. He really fishes hard. He's a tough fisherman. He's a tough boy, sleeps in his truck.
Yeah.
When it comes to, loving to fish. He sure does that.
Yeah.
So thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Lacey, for making us food. Thank you, Ron, for indulging us and letting us break your camper in 6 different ways.
We did our best.
And making it filthy dirty. Like even the rack that we took 80 gallons of gas on broke on the way up. Then on the back, we broke the welds on it. The automatic step that comes out from the camper, it don't work no more.
Oh,
Bridget,
wow.
don't listen to this.
Now it's a manual step.
I thought Ron might have just fixed it on the side and not told her.
Yeah, it's
in
gonna
process.
cost. Yeah.
Yeah. It was everything. We wrap up the trip. We headed back south. We hit the Sault Ste. Marie area. We ran into a guy named Mike out of nowhere. We were in a Walmart parking lot. He's like, I'll take you fishing. I got nothing to do till midnight. And so he took me and Will fishing. Unfortunately, we didn't catch anything, but it was a beautiful night. We saw some fireworks for the
Indigenous people.
Yep, Indigenous People Day. And you could see the red, white, and blue bridge. And across the bridge, the red and white lights on the other part of the bridge. So they were shooting them off right on the border while we were fishing. So that was beautiful.
That was on the Mississauga.
Yes.
That was when we talked to you guys last week.
At midnight, Mike even gave me a ride to a Canadian casino. I went to a casino and played blackjack.
How'd you do?
Listen, hit, stay.
Uh-huh.
Didn't work.
Dang it.
Oh,
But it was only for $40. I was all excited. I was up $340. I cashed out. And I figured out I was only up like $110 in American money, so I had to keep playing.
Told you at the beginning.
But
There's
here's
fluctuations.
I learned something.
They'll
They'll
get you.
always get you.
The guy, when I was leaving the casino, was like, "You're not walking, are you?" I said, "Oh yeah." He's like, "This is a rough neighborhood." You know, of course, I had a bunch of beers in me, and I was like, "Oh man, don't worry about it. I've been in the octagon, and I've been." I was telling him all the crap. I got this. I was walking back, and even the guys, truly enough, that had like a bottle of beer and whiskey in their hand, the guys that looked rough. Oh, good night, eh? You know, hey, like they're all super sweet.
It was using their manners.
Yeah. I have one more story just about the niceness of the Canadian guys. I had a bio break. You know, I had weary traveler's butt, and so we went to Walmart, and I took a seat in there, and these guys got to talking at the urinals, and the one guy says, "Hey, let me wash my hands here. I'd love to shake your hand." Come on.
Wow. It's not something you hear every day.
There's a point where you can be friendly. You know what I mean? But that's
like
too friendly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me wait till I wash my hands. And then, you know what I mean? I couldn't see that. Oh, my God.
Oh, you were looking through the cracks. You were trying to.
If the handshake actually went down, but come on.
Is that Phil out there?
Phil, you got to tell one more quick little story. Tell them about the breakfast real fast. In the suit.
Our
You
breakfast.
got to give a throw out to that restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The breakfast pig.
The Breakfast Pig Badass Eatery is what they're called, and they
I saw that on your Instagram.
and they are BA. There's that breakfast. I just had the regular old eggs Benedict, and it was over the top. In Canada, they don't give you thin Canadian bacon. They give you nice, thick, like 8 pieces
Just
put together.
bacon.
They just call it bacon. Up.
Yeah, like the geese. It's just bacon. But then Catfish got this, whatever.
I got a whack of pancakes.
a whack of pancakes with a whack of eggs,
and cheddar cheese and bacon, sausage, ham,
all on top of each other. Like a big old
jalapenos and
What do
a
they call that?
sheep's head. I don't know. Like there was everything on it.
A sheep's
And even Ron has friends that like make maple syrup.
Yeah.
I've had homemade maple syrup. I've had maple syrup in Maine. I've had the best maple syrup there is on this planet. That place has the best maple syrup on this planet. Even Ron looked at me and he was like, "We got to get more." I'm like, "This is stupid."
Taking some home.
And everything was local. Like they only used recipes and ingredients from within 100 miles or less of the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a farm to field place.
Yes.
But clearly it wasn't tapas style.
No, it was
From the sound of the whack of pancakes.
Will's
Yummus.
food looked hideous. I wasn't
Style.
trying.
Yummus style.
It
Yeah.
was, well, here's the thing. I got the crepes.
The Crips.
crepes.
I think it's a really, really thin pancake.
Yes.
Heard that.
But I had it. They put peanut butter and chocolate, like drizzle, like all over it.
Yeah.
And their chocolate is not real sweet. I thought this was going to be disgusting, and in my head, I was going to be,
That would have made me order it.
Well, no, it didn't in the picture.
That sounds disgusting. I'll take it.
No, but it's as much syrup as they had on it. It looked terrible. You know what I mean? When it brought it out to me.
Oh,
it wasn't a
different
little,
than the picture.
It wasn't a little bit of peanut butter. It was caked in peanut butter.
Yeah, it was just but because
Nothing wrong with that.
Because the sweetness was like dialed back like
mild
6. You know what I mean? It was actually palatable.
Can I get it dialed back to about 8 or 9? Then I'm in.
That'd be dialed up.
That's what I mean.
What was in the crepes?
I couldn't. Yeah, too much sweetness.
Some strawberries.
No such thing, bud.
Oh,
Yeah.
strawberry crepes with peanut butter and chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was. I had a bite. It was darn tasty.
That sounds like a whole lot of all right. I like it.
Yeah. And then
A whack of crepes.
what I have like a sandwich or something, breakfast sandwich.
Breakfast salmon.
They had a hashtag too or something, but I don't know. Look them up. It was the
breakfast pig.
Yeah, look
in
them
the
up.
Sault
and
Ste. Marie.
If you're ever there, eat
How you
breakfast
spell
there.
that, Phil?
In the Sioux. It sounds like Salt Ste. Marie.
Yeah, phonically.
SAULT Saint STE. Funny way of spelling
Salt
Ste. Marie,
as we would say it.
as I would pronounce it.
Phil would not pronounce it Sue. Like he refused. He was.
Way to stick to your guns, Buck.
Bud.
Illinois had him hooked on phonics.
That's
and
what I'm talking about.
That's how he.
Saying how we pronounce it in Shell Knob.
Yep. You don't.
We got to see our buddy Tyler once again after breakfast. We gave a shove off, and same deal coming home, man. Straight. Everybody took turns. We were gone.
Yep.
It was a
Turn and burn.
turn and burn. Not only to Bedford to where we dropped the camper off, but then once in Buck's truck to Buck's house, and then another hour to my house.
Yeah.
we didn't stop. I got home about 4 a.m,
Yeah.
something like that.
Wow.
And
I
decided
know
to
I
go
took-
fishing at 6. I couldn't help it.
I was just getting out of the shower when you guys were saying home, and I was like, I just spent the last 30 minutes standing in this warm water.
That's the only thing I remember Will saying as we were leaving is, I don't care what happens tonight. I'm getting a shower, like a real one.
Yeah.
Real shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guys, thanks for letting Uncle Buck tag along on this trip. Thanks, Pod Dad, for letting me break your camper.
Tear up your RV.
Yeah, Lacey. If it wasn't for you, I'd have starved up there. So thank you.
We aren't going to have time for the topic hat, the Better the Hunt topic hat. But we do have 2 updates we got to do before we shove off. One update is that we're going to have some promo codes coming out for the Moses Family Jerky. And you can use them at mfjerky.com.
The promo code is Jerky Pursuits 15.
Yeah. Jerky Pursuits 15. And that's 15% off anything on the website.
That's a good deal.
Heck yeah.
So, how about that?
That's just like pure steak.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
is.
hear.
It's like it saved my life a few days up there.
I'll tell you what.
Moses Family Jerky.
It's
saved
Wheezy.
my life.
It's Wheezy approved. I know that.
It's
Wheezy
Wheezy's
loved
favorite. Wheezy loves it.
Wheezy came back for more.
I'm Wheezy and I approve this message.
He wasn't looking in the camper to find Will or me. He was looking for more Moses Family
yeah.
Jerky.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
If I could put you guys in a little time capsule, I want to take you back to, when was that? February, early February, late January, actually.
Yeah.
To the ATA show.
Early, mid-January.
Yeah.
I had a big takeaway from that show. My number one product that I saw when we were out at ATA was this blind that you can put up in your
Tree
stand.
Yeah.
That tree stand blind.
Uh-huh.
We actually have been in contact with William Boren.
Yep. Huntworks.com.
Yeah. He actually let us in on a little, secret.
It's not about to be a secret anymore, I have a feeling.
We're letting the cat out of the bag, as it were.
Let her out.
But what he told us was that on July 2nd, he is firing up a Kickstarter launch for this product. So if you go to Kickstarter.com on July 2nd and you search Hotspot 4-in-1 hunting blind, there's going to be some special pricing that you can take advantage of for that product.
Nice.
But I want to make sure everybody goes out there and takes a look at it. Not only is there going to be special pricing, but you guys are actually going to get to see this thing. And again, keep in mind, Catfish and I walking around the ATA, everyone who's anyone that has a product is at that show. That was the thing that stuck out to me the most out of that whole place.
Yeah, that's where I had to drag Ryan away 4 different occasions because he wanted to look at it.
William Bourne he's a sweetheart.
Oh yeah, the guy
Like
was
the
excellent. I mean, we did a real long video of him showing us the demo of this tree stand blind. And I don't even want to call it a tree stand blind. He calls it the 4-in-1 hunting blind. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and you should check out the site, the Kickstarter site that he's going to have for it, starting July 2nd. Go check it out. It's an amazing product, and there's going to be some special pricing out there for it.
Yeah. Ryan, where can they find us?
They can find us at ruttenriverpursuits.com. And, of course, all your social media properties, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just search for Rutten and River Pursuits. Also, check out the page on YouTube, Rutten and River Pursuits Podcast. The podcast itself can be found on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Castbox. You guys are really good at this. And as Kyle likes to say, don't forget, leave us a message while you're there, right?
Yeah.
Give a review,
Please.
drop a line, get a hold of us.
Love the feedback.
Yeah, give us some feedback. Let us know some topics to add into the Better Than Hunt topic hat. And just say hi.
Tell us your favorite flavor of Moses Family Jerky.
Ooh.
Boom.
There's a whole whack of them, too.
Yeah.
Or their coffees. I heard their coffees
Either
are pretty
one.
banging.
mfjerky.com, promo code JerkyPursuits15.
Boom.
Boom.
Alrighty. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Rig 'em weedless. Guys got to talking at the urinals, and the one guy says, "Hey, let me wash my hands here. I'd love to shake your hand." Come on.
Wow.
Come on.
It's not something you hear every day.
There's the point where you can be friendly. You know what I mean? But
That's
that's
like-
too friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Did you just steal a truck?
My mind couldn't comprehend what happened. Yeah, honestly, that's the third thought. He stole a truck.
In the middle of nowhere.
Where do you
even
get it?
find that?
In a truck bed full of wood.
We almost got to the point where I thought we were going to have to start like transfusing blood.
If you ever seen
For
like
each
a
other.
hedgehog like going 100 miles an hour and just jump and do a backflip into your back, that's what it felt like.
I've seen that twice.
How does Tyler deal with that?